Consider yourself under my protection.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off. What are you?
Let's put a smile on that face.
I'm touching myself tonight.
How can a woman possibly fight in this?
There are two things I want to do. I want an American cheeseburger.
What's up, guys, and welcome once again to another haul video. It's been a while since I've done a haul video, but man, have we got a lot of books to go through there today. And basically all of these, if you see from my previous videos there, I've managed to get through Amex points, and I've kind of made a guide of how to, like, you know, get free books and things like that to get you started on things. No, I don't really spend money on graphic novels anymore. So pretty much that's the reason why I'm doing a haul kind of each month, because each month these Amex points come in and then I end up spending them on graphic novels, right? Mainly DC. So today we've got the V for Vendetta Deluxe Edition. We got DC versus Vampires, James Tynion the fourth, who doesn't seem to ever be doing anything wrong. The classic Deluxe Edition. Kick-Ass in England by Mark Miller. Another one of the Gotham City Sirens Part 2, which is from the DC graphic novel collection, one of the specials. Suicide Squad versus Justice League, another Rebirth one. The second one off Superman Deluxe Edition Part 2, and I'm actually today I managed to, you know, get the end of year points. I've actually purchased 3 and 4, so I'll be doing a video on those there in the future. The international edition of Batman Flash, the button, right? You can see the lenticular version there. We've got that there as well. And then finally, Joshua Williamson's The Flash. So I've tried to start to get a lot of kind of Rebirth comic books now, and that's why you can see a lot of these. So let's go into our first one, which is an old school classic, right? An old school classic, which is V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is from the great, I was going to say the late great, but he's still with us, the great Alan Moore, right? And you know, if you like the film, you'll really like this book. But the book kind of explains a lot more about the film. And one of the things that I said there before, quite a lot on the Sandman videos, is that basically, like, if you like Sandman, right, then really what you should do is listen to the audiobooks there first, then read the comic books, then watch the series, right? Because the whole thing about this is the BT Tower, this iconic actual tower in London, which you can actually see. So yeah, the one thing that I really kind of, let's get rid of this old bottle over there. The one of the things that I really kind of liked about the Sandman is that once you read the audiobooks and stuff, it actually makes the series and everything kind of, and the comic books kind of come to life a lot more. So a lot of this you can see is kind of the old school art, quite a lot like Swamp Thing and things like that. And obviously for some people who are used to the very new styles, this can be quite distracting, right? Because it's a lot older, but the storyline, the whole thing behind it is great. And if you love the Sandman stuff, you'll love this as well. The book is, you know, fantastic. You know, this kind of embossed stuff there as well, which is great. Let's move on to DC versus Vampires. This is a newer book, kind of just come out. And there's the new one, which is going to be coming, the new deluxe edition, which is going to be coming out in April. This is James Tynion the fourth, who it seems like can't do anything wrong. The only thing I don't like this about is like the paper. It feels like that cheapo kind of recycled paper, which I don't really like, rather than the glossy stuff. Obviously tried to keep the cost down. But the great thing about this is basically, like, it's DC versus vampires, right? And they're trying to do it in a way that makes it look like, you know, the Justice League would get defeated by vampires, right? And how they get defeated. Some of them, they've nerfed the powers a little bit and stuff. But it's always interesting when the ones without the powers, Batman, you know, Batman, of course, Green Arrow and things, are the ones who are the least susceptible. And that's one of the things there that you know, I always like in DC as opposed to Marvel, right? Which is basically that normal humans without powers are the ones who generally tend to save the day. Now let's go into Kick-Ass, right? Now Kick-Ass, another deluxe edition, nicely embossed finish. And yeah, let's go into this. So this, you know, is kind of got like that, you know, early 2000s kind of drawing. It's a lot like the film, but obviously a lot more bloody. In the film, they had to, you know, use certain kind of things, and also in this, Kick-Ass is actually a lot younger in this than he is in the films. Like in the films, he appears a lot older. You can't really have a child going around getting, you know, battered and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And Hit Girl is a lot younger. Like obviously they've, you know, Chloe Grace Moretz is a lot older, but in this, Hit Girl is literally a child. She looks about 8-9 years old. I really enjoyed this comic book, and it's something that I think, you know, if you haven't got in your collection, then definitely get that one up, right? So let's move on to Gotham City Sirens. Gotham City Sirens. Now this is part of the DC graphic novel collection. I was quite amazed I actually found this on Amazon. All of this, you can see these end bits, right, are part of this collection up here, the specials, right? But basically, you can't get them anymore because Eagle Moss has gone bust, right? And it's very difficult to kind of find them. So I don't know how these little shops are managing to find, you know, these kind of things. But yeah, this is another interesting story. You know, really kind of makes you look at the film, the Gotham City Sirens and things. What the actual hell? Or, you know, Birds of Prey and the emancipation of Harley Quinn, whatever, you know, and what they could have done, what they could have created. And, you know, people who love that film should be embarrassed. I mean, yeah, I guess if you like that film, fair enough. But, you know, if you like that film, you haven't read the comic books, you clearly are one of these people who haven't read the comic books, haven't, you know, seen anything about it, because these storylines are great, right? It shows the characters well, and I think a lot of people, male and female, will probably end up wanting to watch those films. So let's go on to Justice League versus Suicide Squad. This is from Joshua Williamson. I really like this story. Some of these books, you know, because the newer ones I'm not really so au fait on. I really like this. Amanda Waller changes her look like 3 or 4 times during this. I don't know, maybe because there's different people drawing it. This is Faye Bock, who is great. I love the art of Faye Bock. I think it's fantastic. I think it's very kind of, you know, more of a realistic art, but it's great. Max, see how Amanda Waller's changed, right? Does it say penciler? Yeah, because Tony S. Daniel, right? So he's changed her straight away. Maxwell Lord is the main one in this. This is another one where you kind of look at Wonder Woman 84 and you think, oh my God, what have you done? You've made Maxwell Lord into an idiot. And this is why I'm quite glad that, you know, Patty Jenkins has disappeared off the face of the earth. The art is great. We have Eclipso turning up in this. You know, Killer Frost being badass, and then a little bit about Amanda Waller's story there later on. And then the great stuff in these kind of deluxe ones is it shows the alternate covers. Some of this art is like incredible, right? You just got to admit this variant covers, and this is where people, you know, where DC makes a lot of its money, is that it ends up kind of, you know, having these alternate arts, right? So this one's Superman. I'm going to be doing a kind of more in depth about this there later on. I don't really want to go too much into it, but this is one of these things that, you know, if you have like if you have a child who's maybe 10, 11 years old or whatever, right? And you're thinking, okay, how do I get them into DC, but I don't want them seeing too much stuff that is, you know, too horrific, bloody, you know, swearing, you know, all that kind of stuff. These are the books probably that they should get into. You know, the Superman series, and Superman Rebirth series is fantastic. It basically goes into and kind of makes the makes Superman what he is. This is another thing as well. I think This with the rebirth there, it came out just after kind of Man of Steel, and I think it is kind of like the answer of DC to say, this is the way that we would have portrayed Man of Steel. This is the way that he should be portrayed. We see him in this eternal optimist. You know, all of your kind of big heroes and stuff in it. He's a dad. He's trying to struggle being a dad there as well, trying to be as good as Jonathan Kent was. And once again, all this incredible variant art at the end. So yeah, Pete Tomasi's series is a must-have, right? And I think honestly, like, it should be there for everybody to kind of have. This one is the Flash. I showed you the lenticular cover. This is the international version. So on the other version, you have the one with Flash with the button on it, and this one is there. This is a much more kind of shorter book, and it leads into Doomsday Clock, which unfortunately wasn't the best, but once again, amazing art, fantastic art. We get to see a lot of Flashpoint Batman, who's a badass. Flash and Batman working together. Flash respecting Batman. All of them kind of working there together, and just overall just incredible. It's a very short story, and it's one of those things that you kind of think, wow, I wish this would carry on longer. And it does lead into the Doomsday Clock obviously at the end, but yeah, it's just unfortunate they didn't nail it with the Doomsday Clock right at the end. And then we have the Flash, right? So this is another one, if you have like teenagers kind of thing, you could get them to read this. This is generally like a hopeful kind of, nicer kind of comic book. It's not on the level of kind of stuff like Batman or Swamp Thing and things like that. The art is slightly more cartoonish, as you can see, and once again, Joshua Williamson writing it. It's got that great writing there in it. This is kind of like more like for teenagers, because there's a lot of kind of stuff about love and boyfriend, girlfriend, all that kind of stuff in here, and I think teenagers can relate to that. But it's like, it's got enough for like older people and adults to kind of look at this there as well. And it's another one that I'm going to be collecting the entire series of once I get more Amex points, man. So I've pretty much managed to read all of these there as well now. So let's pop all of these on the shelf, and then you guys can have a look at that there, see what it looks like. And here we have them up on the shelf here. I really need a much stronger bookend, because you can see these books are starting to lean over on the side just due to how heavy they are, right? And I honestly don't get, let me just move this around, honestly don't get why DC do this, right? It's like, okay, look, the rebirths, they're all the same size, and then you got that one, Justice League versus Suicide Squad, which is smaller. It's like, make them all one uniform size, man. It's quite annoying. Let's go and have a look up top at the Harley Quinn one. And here we have up here Gotham City Sirens Part 2. So that's making that whole section, right? And now this is where it's now getting to the stage there where it's becoming extremely rare. Now once we get past Gotham City Sirens Part 2, there are like 3 more books, and these are extremely difficult to get hold of. I've seen a couple of them, very, very hard. People are selling them for around £1,000, which is like, what, $1,200, $1,300, which is just insane. And yeah, I can't really justify that, but that I think just looks absolutely awesome. Let me know what you think about the collection, guys, and if you recommend any graphic novels for me to get there in the future, and I'll see you again next time.